Hi all, this is Paramasivam again with another video. In this video, we will talk about Elasticsearch Web Console. Okay, so this is a web console we will be using to log in and manage our deployment, do any configuration or any changes in our Elastic clusters. Okay, so basically we will be using this web applications. Okay, of course we can interact with web service Elasticsearch web service using API, RESTful API, but most of the times we will be using the web consoles. Okay, that's more enough in fact. Okay, so this is what called web consoles. Okay, let me log in into that. Take some times. Okay, once logged in, we will see this is the home page. Okay, here we can see some documents, support, webinars, other stuff. Okay, but mainly we are going to focus our deployment. Okay, so if I have the paid account, I can have more than one deployment. Since I am using only trial account, I can have the only one account, only one deployment. So deployment means it's another noun, that's it. Okay. So deployment means which include all the Elasticsearch instance, Kibana instance, and the APM, Elasticsearch, all the stuffs. Okay, app search, enterprise search, everything's included as a deployment. Okay, so here I have the deployment. Okay, so this trial account has 14 days. Again, of course, you can use another email account to create again fresh account. Okay, the thing is you cannot retain your data from one deployment to another deployment. That is a drawback, but you can explore all the features. Okay, whenever you learn about the Elasticsearch service, or whenever you want to learn about the Kibana usage or Elasticsearch API queries, all the stuff except some kind of monitoring, some kind of security settings. Okay, you can learn all the stuff using Elasticsearch service itself. So it's give the free of 14 days account to you. Okay, so you can use any of the email account. That is only one you need. Okay, here I have only one deployment, of course. Okay, this is a deployment ID. Okay, we will be using later. Okay, then let me jump into the Elasticsearch deployment. So obviously my deployment is the param third is the deployment names. I choose the Azure Azure as a cloud provider. Okay, the region is something like that, Virginia. Okay, fine. So I am going to talk about all the features in the left side menu and what are the different values. That is what we are going to display. Okay, discuss in this video. Maybe this video may be bit very lengthy one. Okay. Of course, as I said, this is a deployment name, so you can edit or modify it. Okay, just is alias name, nothing. Okay, custom endpoint alias. Okay, this is what the endpoint. Okay, let's say I am opening that Kibana here. Okay, so you can see param third as a in the URL. Let it open it. So when I open Kibana from this console, so it automatically authenticate. Okay, it will not ask any username password, so it automatically authenticate and open the Kibana applications. Okay, meanwhile open it. Okay, here let's walk through what is here. Okay, so the main thing is cloud ID. So the cloud ID we will be using when connecting through any agent to push the data into Elasticsearch. That could be a file beat, metric beat, log stash, or could be anything. Okay, so we will be using cloud ID. Okay, and username password or API key. Okay, either one. So to connect and push the data into the Elasticsearch service. So we have to be note down the cloud ID. Okay, then password. Of course, you can reset the password at any time. So, okay, here you can reset the password at any time. So, but while creating the particular deployment itself, you will get the username and password. Username obviously Elastic, password will be some kind of chunk string. Okay, even I can show you some of the password. Okay, here one second, let me open my ID. Okay, here let me open recent files. Any yeah, nothing is there. Any other recent files? Yeah, here this is also okay. So username and password, some junk values. So this will be given at the time of creation any deployment. Of course, if you forget or if you want to reset something, again you can reset your password. So that facility available here. Then of course you can restart or delete the deployment whenever you no need. Obviously you can delete your deployment. Okay, here we can see what is a version of Elasticsearch. Of course, here 7.1.14.0. Okay, that is a version. So status is of course is really healthy. Now, what is running inside the cluster? That is what matter here, right? So Elasticsearch it will be running two nodes. Here you can see Elastic node 0 and this is tiebreaker and Elastic node 1. Okay. So, I'll explain this in each tile later. Okay. Of course, one instance of Kibana, one instance of APM, Fleet, Enterprise. Okay. So, all these instances are running within Elasticsearch cluster. I mean within the param deployment. Okay. So, all these are running for us. So, without downloading, without configuring anything, so okay, it runs automatically and they communicate among them. Of course, you can copy the endpoint or you can set a open. So, copy the endpoint means we have to enter the username password. Let's say I copy this one. Okay, I am going there. Here it will ask username password. Okay, so I have to give elastic password. I think I can copy from my this one. This should work. Let me check. No, it is not working. So, password something else. Okay. So, of course, authentication failed. So, that is why we are getting error message. Okay. So, here you can see that param third, this is the custom endpoint name. Of course, it will say yes and what is that region and name of the cloud. So, that is a naming convention of endpoint. Okay. Where I am here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So, these are the no instances are running. Okay. So, here you can see that instance 0 and instance 1. Okay. So, instance 0 is a Elasticsearch, it is a really healthy one. So, version you can see that 4 GB RAM. So, as I said somewhere for the free account we will get the 8 GB RAM. Okay. So, each one each one occupy 4 GB RAMs. Okay. And here you can see that this is the name of the cloud, name of the instance. So, cloud name either is data or master, then high IO. Okay. This is the idea of this deployment. Somewhere you can, I think so, I have shown some, no, sorry, this is the CPU name in that Azure cloud. Okay. It is a CPU names. Okay, then of course it is data heart, and then it is data content node. It can play the master eligible node, coordinating node, ingest node. So, all these roles this node can be played. So, similarly here you can see. So, okay, then tiebreakers. So, it will help us master eligible, but it will help us to not occur any split brain within the Elasticsearch cluster. Then Kibana. Okay, obviously. So, it is really healthy. So, for the Kibana they will allocate only 1 GB RAM. Here this is the instance ID. So, Azure the Kibana is running. This is the machine name, machine configuration you can say, like in any cloud this will say machine name. So, it could be like, say let us say E32 SV3 maybe include like what is that 2 core or 5 GB something like that. Okay, it exactly say the hardware configuration of Azure. Okay, so these are major instance we will be using, but other than that this is for Elasticsearch enterprise search and this is for APMs. So, we are okay. So, these are the instances are running, but if you are using really APMs you can run, otherwise you can stop or delete it. Here you can stop running. Similarly, here you can stop running. So, okay, let me stop it. Yes. Okay, I am going to stop this also. I don't want. I am not going to use it anywhere. Okay, so as I said in the previous video, these are the instances is provided by the cluster. Cloud based clusters. Okay, automatically. If you want to set up in the on premises, it's a really very lengthy process. We have to download the corresponding tar, zip, Debian file or RPM file, then we have to install. Okay, then we have to do all the configurations. Then we have to start. Then we have to make sure all the bootstrap checks fine. It's a very lengthy process to set up in the on premises. In the cloud based environment, just 5 minutes. Actually, it will take 5 minutes to create the cluster. So, the cluster is always running available at all times. Okay. Okay, the only the thing is processing capacity limited, some of the features not available. Okay, and data everything will be lost at the end of trial period. Okay. So, I think I have explained what is the each component or each items or tiles in the page. Now, we can go to the edit, Elasticsearch, snapshot, API console, Kibana, all this is what it is. Okay. So, in short, I can say if I want to do edit something, I will go to the here whatever I want I can edit. So, everything is limited in the trial environment. Okay, trial account. Okay, in the Elasticsearch you have separate file called elasticsearch.oml file, Kibana is called Kibana.oml file. Similarly, any beat or clock stash, okay, everything has its own configuration OML files. So, it is where we will be declare all of our configurations. Okay. So, we call as user settings. Okay. So, whatever settings we want to append, we can append here. Some of the settings automatically reflected. For some of the settings we have to restart. I mean, it will get automatically restart the clusters. Okay. So, what is happening within the Elasticsearch? You can come to know the activity. That is the where. So, whenever the what and when particular instance is restarted or any configuration changes has happened. So, everything you can see in the activity page. So, again you can do the filters, all the stuffs. Okay, successful, unsuccessful. These are just filtering criteria. Okay. So, the activity page will show what are the instances and how it has been when it has been restarted or any configuration changes reapplied, all the stuffs. Okay. Again, let us go to the edit. By default, it will use hot warm architecture. So, if you want to know about hot warm architecture, you can learn in Elastic Stack online document itself, but we are not going to display here. So talks about that one. Similarly, Kibana. So, if I want to edit some of the things in the Kibana, I can do. Obviously, we will configure what is it? Where is Elasticsearch, right? Similarly, okay. So, similarly, all the enterprise search, app search, APM. So, everything it exposes the files. These files, whatever the configuration here, it will append into the particular in actual file. I would say it's in actual configuration files. Okay. So, this is what we call as a APM. Sorry, this is what called user settings. User settings for each product. Could be Elasticsearch, could be a Kibana, could be any beats or APM server, something like that. Okay, or Elasticsearch. Okay, whatever it is. Then here you can see here index lifecycle management, right. So, index lifecycle management, it will say of course, data. Sorry, this is a cloud name. It's a data node. Okay, and okay. While creating deployment, we can specify any. There are 3 options. Okay, one is highly IO optimized. That means we will push lot of data and we will retrieve lot of data by queries. Okay. So, that is what IO optimized. Whereas processing based means our analyzer will run like anything, or our query will be running like long running queries. Okay. So, that is what called process oriented. So, there are 2 options. Okay, while creating deployment, most of the times IO optimized is better one, since obviously we are going to work in large volume of data. Okay. then if we are doing any changes, we can save it. While saving it, it will start activity. Okay, it will start it will start to apply the changes to Elasticsearch. So that is called called maintenance mode of our Elasticsearch. So that means, what is maintenance mode means, say let us say we have two nodes of Elasticsearch, right. So one node will be a maintenance mode, the other node will be processing the request. Then after that, once it is done, then the next node will get configuration changes, configuration will be applied to the second node. So that's how there is no downtime in our cluster, but our any one of the node will go into the maintenance mode. Okay. So these are the settings or update we can do within the edit page. Now Elasticsearch. So that means Elasticsearch specific. What happened? It's load it again. I don't know what happened exactly. Sorry. Here you can see that each instance of Elasticsearch and how many shards are there. Okay. Okay. And what is status? Of course, disk usage and JVM usage, that means RAM. Okay, here is JVM memory usages. Okay, so everything you can display here itself. Okay, and the name of the node. Where is it? Okay, name of the node. Where is it? What is the and what is the status? How much RAM has been allocated? Okay, how much disk has been used. So individually, if you want to know the exact detail of memory usage, you can come to you can see the Elasticsearch. Snapshot, obviously we will take snapshot of the indexes. Okay, you can automate here. Okay, say here you can see the 15 minutes back it took the snapshot, the next snapshot in next 18 minutes. That means snapshot are taken for every 30 minutes. Okay, so that also can be configurable. So this many snapshot has been taken. Okay, so, and what is the status of that? That is what snapshot will be created. Okay, you can restore as well. Okay, then API console. So this is the place where we can execute our any RESTful API. We can call RESTful API against to our Elasticsearch. I mean, it's kind of REST client like Postman, Insomnia, something like that, curl. Okay, so this is the API console where you can execute any query and you can get the result. Okay, similarly like dev console available in the Kibana, right. So that is the purpose of API console. Okay, then Kibana. Kibana, you can see like cluster ID or endpoint. You can open the Kibana. Then Kibana status you can see here. Nothing else. Okay, of course you can do force restart if you want to Kibana. Similarly, APM fleet. So you can see the individual status of APM. URL, endpoint, what is the status. Okay, so of course I said I stopped in beginning of this video. I have stopped. That's why no routing request. Okay, then enterprise search. Similarly, okay, I stopped. So you can see here individual component or individual service or individual product, URL and endpoint, what is its status, memory usage, everything you can see in each individual page. Logs and metrics, I will tell you what it is. Logs and metrics is actually it is available in the what paid account only. Okay, in the trial account we cannot use that much, but log and metrics what is it will the internal details of logs and metrics of this deployment itself. Okay, this deployment itself indexed into the Elasticsearch. So if you want to know the performance of our deployment, you can enable. We have to enable actually. Okay, so we have to enables. So that's how it will be available within the index itself, within the same Elasticsearch itself. So all the logs, all the performance logs of our cluster will be collected and pushed into the Elasticsearch. Then activity, as I said, what is happening when the particular node restarted, when the particular node configuration is applied, all the history you can check in activity. Security. Here Here what you can do reset your password for Elasticsearch, that means super user. Okay, and of course traffic filter. Traffic filter means what is now, some of the IP address should not be entered into here, entered into our cluster. So you can stop there itself. So those requests will not reach our Elasticsearch cluster. That you can configure in the traffic filter. It's kind of IP filtering. Okay, that's what I can say. Then key store, right? In the Elasticsearch or Kibana or any beats, they have the key store as one of the application or command, right? There we can store key value pair that will be encrypted. So those key can be used in any one of the inappropriate configuration files, right? So that is help. What is help means that any password is any sensitive information is not readable. So it is encrypted and stored within the key store. Okay. So here you can add all the key store and you can refer in our user editing file. That could be a Kibana.yml file, that could be Elasticsearch.yml file, and it can be anything. Okay. Trust management. Okay, I will tell you what is trust management. Trust management is what is now whenever running more than one cluster. Okay, that means cross cluster. Okay, so whenever we running more than one cluster, so each cluster should trust each other. Then only the communication can happen, either CC or CCS. Okay, so that is what trust. So here while we edit the trust, you can specify what is the deployment name. Okay, then the another cluster name or deployment name, whatever it is. So that's how you can make more two cluster trust each other. Okay, these are the purpose of the security. Then performance, of course here it's kind of visualization other than the log and metrics. Here is the performance. Some of the visualizations are there. Okay, by the name itself we can say, see that how the particular performance is displayed as a visualizations. Okay, so disk usage, garbage collection usage, number of requests, memory pressures, okay, index response times, search response time, of course, CPU usage, CPU credit. You know what is CPU credit? CPU credit means CPU credit will be used in the low level hardware configurations. Okay, I will tell you what is CPU credit. Okay, it will boost the performance for some time temporarily. That is the CPU credit. Okay. Then of course features I explained, right? API keys for the security purpose. Okay, we will be using either username, password, or we can create API keys, right? Then trust, of course each has to trust each other. Then traffic. Okay, so what are the IP address or any VPC that may allow or filter the request to the Elasticsearch cluster. That is what traffic filters. Okay, then I will go to the support. Not here. Let me go to my deployment. Here support. Not then here. 1 second. Sorry, here account and billing. Yes. Okay, here you can see the contacts, right? What is billing contacts? Okay, billing information to whom we have to send. So you can add more than one email ID. Okay, so billing, the metering is happening for every per hour. Okay, the memory usage or CPU usage. Okay, per hour. Okay, that's how it is measured. So billing information will be sent to this particular email ID. Operational email ID. Okay, that means what is exactly happening within that our cluster. It's how many instances are running, what is the memory statistics. Okay, so all the steps you will get as a mail, and that is what operational email. Monitoring emails. Okay, monitoring email means whenever some problem occurred, like one instance gone or completely memory is full. Okay, so whenever the problems are there, that time you want to get the email, then that is called monitoring email whitelist. So okay, whatever the email ID you will add here, those email ID only receive the any problems which occurred in the Elasticsearch deployment, and it need the manual attention. Okay. So, operational email address, it will just periodically send the statistic, nothing else. Okay. Then billing history, of course, I don't have I have not added my credit card. So whenever we add the credit card, it will be billing for every month, right. Then here usage, usage is again it will be say the detailed what is CPU usage, what is storage usage, what is the data transfer usage. So everything will be explained, everything will be displayed here. So, okay. I'll explain how the exactly billing happen. Okay, how you can avoid or try to reduce, how you can minimize. Of course, here you can see that just it is subscription is a 14 days trial. Okay, then just feature of the product. Okay, feature of the payment details. Okay, so whenever you added that payment, you added your credit card, you will have many more features. That's what as explained. I think I have explained the complete details of console, where you can create the deployment, you can manage your deployment, you can add your user settings, you can monitor, you can log. Okay, and you can come to know the memory usage of each instance. Okay, so and you can open your Kibana API, all the URLs, and you can give your custom endpoint. So everything I have explained. Of course, whenever everything is done, you can delete, but there is no stop up option here. Okay, you cannot stop and reuse it, right. Only thing is you can delete. Okay, I think profile night mode logout. Okay, so these are the informations at high level information, at least I have explained. So among these, cloud ID is very important. So whenever we want to push the data, all the agent, all the logstash instance, there we will be configuring cloud ID. Okay, instead of URL or instead of endpoint. Okay, instead of endpoint, we will be configuring cloud ID and username, password or API key. So to communicate with our cluster. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching. Okay, request you to subscribe, request you to comment. Okay, if you have any questions, just put it in the comment. Thank you.